Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Tables and Graphs. Let's review the quadrants. Let's identify where 6, -4 would be. So of course we have quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4, starting in the top and making a C going clockwise. So 6 over 6 down 4 would be in quadrant 4. For 5, 7 over 5 up 7 would be quadrant 1. For number 3, -3, -3 would be in quadrant 3. And for number 4, starting here, going to -1 up to 10 would be in quadrant 2. We're going to learn to identify and graph ordered pairs from a table of values. So we're going to write these x, y numbers as ordered pairs. Since the x is always the first number and the y is always the second number, our tables will be set up in xy order. So our coordinates are simply those two numbers inside of a set of parentheses. 4, 7, 0, 9, and 5, 3. Our x was always first, our y was always second. So our ordered pairs are correct. Let's let you try to write these ordered pairs. Pause and write them. Yours should look like this. X is always first, y is always second. 3 was first, -4 was second. 2 was first, -8 was second, etc., etc. Write and graph the ordered pairs from the table. So now we need to find our ordered pair. 1, 4, I don't know why I put a dash there, it should be a comma. -1, -2, 3, 2, -5, 0. Because our first number is always the x and our second number is always the y. So there's our ordered pairs again. Now let's try to plot them. If you go over 1, up 4, you will be at that dot, and we labeled it 1, 4 in parentheses. The second one, starting at 0 always, going -1 into -2 territory. You will be at -1, -2. Our third one is 3, 2. Again, starting at origin, we go across 3, up 2 because it's a positive 2. And our last one, -5, 0. We go -5, but we can't move from there. So we're staying on the x-axis. Those 0 numbers are always the hardest ones to do. Write and graph the ordered pairs from the table. All right, I'm going to give you the coordinate grid. Oh no! I'm going to give you the coordinate grid. You pause now and see if you can plot those ordered pairs on the coordinate plane. All right, 2, 3. Here's -3, -3. Here's 3, -2. And here's -2, 4. How'd you do? Now we're going to use a table. So we're going to graph the data given in the table showing the number of pounds of food purchased and its cost. What appears to be the relationship between the number of pounds and the cost in the table. So here's our table. And even though it's now a horizontal table, it is still x and y. Our top numbers going across the table will be our x. Our bottom numbers going across the table will be y. So if I write ordered pairs from the table, it will be $1.85. 2, 370. 3, 555. 4 and 740 becomes 4 and 740. So now we need to make our ordered pairs, but you'll notice we only have one quadrant of our coordinate plane. This is still the x, and this is still the y. And here is our 0, 0. So go ahead and pause and see if you can plot the ordered pairs. If you wish, let's just label them A, B, C, and D. Go ahead and pause now. All right, here they are. We're going to plot them. We have number of pounds was our x, and our cost was our y. So 1 kind of falls between the 0 and the 2, and here's about $1.85, so that was our A. 2 pounds, about 370, a little bit below 4, that was our B. Again, between 2 and 4 is 3. 3 pounds, pretty close to the middle of 6 and 4, that should have been your C. And our 4 pounds, almost to $8, and that should have been your D. Did yours look like ours? We're going to graph the data in the table showing the number of days and its cost. What appears to be the relationship between the number of days and the cost shown in the table below? So let's see. We're starting with 3 this time. Again, this whole row is our x-axis, and this whole row is our y. We're going to write the ordered pairs. So 3 was our x, so 375 was our y. 4 was our x, $5 our y. 5 was our x, 625 our y, and 6 was our x, and 750 was our y. So let's graph the ordered pairs. Here's our numbers below, and here's our numbers here. So this is our x-axis. We'll go across first, and this is our y-axis. You pause. Oh, they did it to us. They did it for us too soon. All right, pause the tape now and try to set those ordered pairs. Again, let's do A, B, C, and D. Pause. All right, here they are. We have number of days is our x, and cost is our y. How did you do? And it shows that the cost of the number of days is multiplied by $1.25. So that is what was happening. 3 times $1.25 gets us $3.75. 4 times $1.25 gets us $5. 5 times $1.25 gets us $6.25, and so on. Let's write and graph the ordered pairs from the table. Pause now and try to write your ordered pairs right here, and then graph them on the coordinate grid. All right, here's what your grid should look like. How did you do? You had to go over 2, up 6 for the first one. You had to go -10, and then up to 10 for the second one. You had to go -4, -4 for the third one, and we had to go -6, -8 for the fourth one. The table shows the number of hours a student studies for a test and scores. So, if I study for 1 hour, my score is 15. Here's my X, here's my Y. If I study 2 hours, my score is 30. If I study 3 hours, my score is 45. And if I study 4 hours, my score is 60. What's the relationship between the number of hours studied, and the score? What's happening going down the table? How does 1 become 15? How does 2 become 30? How does 3 become 45? Yep, we are multiplying by 15. So if we continued our graph all the way to 6, 5 times 15 is 75, and 6 times 15 is 90. That is the end of section 4-2, plotting and using a table.